Welcome to lesson 2 in the course Date Several Women Simultaneously, No Hiding or Drama. And in this lesson, we're going to discuss phase 2. In the last lesson, we discussed phase 1, which is the EFA phase, how you behave the first 2 weeks, starting from the very first moment you meet her, or the first date or the first meet, all the way to about 2 or 3 weeks in after you're having sex and dating her and all that good stuff. And it's not relevant if you're dating her seriously or not seriously. You shouldn't be too serious after 2 weeks, right? So hopefully you're not too serious yet. But we now switch into it at the 2 to 3 week mark. We end phase 1, EFA. By 2 weeks, women are very intuitive. They're very, smart's not the word, although they are smart. They're intuitive. They can see very quickly what kind of man you are. So by 2 weeks, 3 weeks on the outside, she gets it. She gets, okay, I know what I'm dealing with now. Or at least I have a feeling I know what I'm dealing with. This is a guy who's not a beta, not a wimp, not a pussy, but also not a player. This is someone kind of in between. So when later she discovers, and she will, when you're having sex with other women, she won't be surprised. She'll be like, yeah, I kind of figured this. It won't be a giant shock. Okay? So now we click into phase 2. And phase 2 is the implicit phase. And this phase lasts a lot longer than phase 1. This phase lasts 3 to 5 months. Minimum 3 months. 5 months is better. And the longer you can make this phase last, the better your results will be. Sometimes I can make this phase go as long as a year. Don't expect that if you're a beginner, but try to go for at least 3 months minimum. 3 to 5 months is a good running average. And during this phase, what you're going to do is you're going to continue to date her under one of two models. She's either going to be an FB, which means friend with benefits, fuck buddy, right? Someone you're hooking up with, but you're not really dating. And there's specific rules around that, specific rules not around that, beyond the scope of this course. Or you're going to date her as something called an MLTR, which means multi-long-term relationship. And that's someone you're actually dating and you like. So friends with benefits, an FB, you like her as a friend, you like spending time with her having sex, but that's about it. MLTR is someone you really like. And you're dating her, you're spending the night, going on dates, that kind of relationship. She's not a girlfriend yet. Neither one of these is girlfriend. We're not going to make her our girlfriend yet. That comes later. Most guys rush into this, and then they get monogamous, then they have a problem. So we're not going to do that, okay? So during this 3 to 5 month period, what you're going to do is you're going to date her under one of those two model sets. Then you are not going to discuss the relationship. You are not going to discuss the nature of the relationship. You're not going to define what the relationship is. So many, many years ago, many decades ago, before men started turning into pussies, what would normally happen is a man would start dating a woman. This is back to how it was in the 80s when I was a kid. I'm an old man. I don't look old, but I am. What would happen is that man and woman would start dating, and the woman would start going to them, okay, so what are we doing here? What is this? And what am I to you? And so what is this to you? Where are we going with this? Right? And the man would go, and the man would cut. The woman would have to corral the man. Today, unfortunately, it is the exact opposite. Today, the men are women and the women are men. So today what happens, usually, not always, is a guy will start having sex with a new woman, and within a week or two, if not sooner, instead of going through these phases, he'll be sitting with her like at a restaurant one day, and he'll look at his arm and go, I was thinking that we could maybe stop seeing other people and just see each other because I really like you. And okay, so the man is the one now defining the relationship, and it's the woman who says yes or no or backs off or saying we're going too fast or whatever. Okay, you don't want either one of these scenarios. You don't want to discuss the relationship at all. No discussion of the relationship. Well, what if she asks? What if you're dating her 2 months and she says, well, where are we going with this? What am I to you? What is this to you? Where is this going? Where do you see this going? Because you're going to get those questions from a woman when a man doesn't do this. Women start getting uncomfortable. And the older they are, the more uncomfortable they get, especially if they're over the age of 33. And so what you're going to do during this 3 to 5 month period is you're not going to answer the question directly. Well, how do I not answer that question? We have several options. One is you could be sarcastic and silly. Well, what is this to you? It's a fire truck. Okay, you can be silly if you want, and then change the topic. Again, women will get it. Okay, doesn't want to talk about it. I'm not going to push this. You could say more directly. You could say something like, hey, look, we've only been seeing each other 3 weeks. This is a little soon for this conversation. Let's talk about this later. That's fine. You can not answer the question any way you want. You can be direct about it, indirect, it doesn't really matter. Do whatever is congruent with your personality. I've done several different methods, but they're all congruent with me. Now you might be thinking, well, Caleb, a woman's not going to put up with that forever. That's right. That's why I said this phase lasts 3 to 5 months, not forever. After 3 to 5 months, she is going to put her little foot down and she's going to say, what is this, or where are we going? And you'll say, look, this is too soon, or it's a balloon. Whatever technique you're using, and she'll say, no, fuck that. I want an answer. I need to know. Then it's time to move into phase 3, which we will cover in the next lesson, actually in the 4th lesson in this course. But we're not there yet. You don't define the relationship up front. You wait several months during the implicit phase. So that's one aspect of the implicit phase. Here's the second part. This is why it's called implicit. In the implicit phase, you are going to continue to act and be the man who is sleeping with multiple women. Now that means you are sleeping with multiple women. By the way, none of this stuff will work if she's the only woman you're having sex with. You can't pretend like you're having sex with other women when you're not. So you need to be doing this with at least 2 women at all times. I've had scenarios, I don't recommend this is many years ago, where I had up to 7, 8, 9 women at the same time. Don't recommend that, okay? Usually for me, it's 3 or 4. Whatever number you want. 2 or more, 2 is enough. 3 is fine, whatever. But you'll have to be having sex with at least one other woman for this to make work. Why? Women are very intuitive. If you try to act like Mr. Non-monogamy guy and you're not having sex with any other women except her, she's gonna know you're full of shit. She's gonna smell it on you, and this isn't gonna work. So during the implicit phase, you're gonna be having sex with her and having sex with someone else, either another FB or MLTR. That's your decision, right? And during that time, you are not going to deny it, but you're not going to bring it up. You're not going to say, oh yeah, she said, what did you do last weekend? You're not going to say, oh, I hooked up with a 19-year-old cheerleader. She was great. Her pussy was really tight. No, that's not going to work at this phase. Later it will work. Right now it will not work. It's too soon for her little societal brainwashing and societal programming, because she's been raised, just like you have probably, in a Western society that says monogamy is the only proper way to date somebody. So she has all this bullshit in her head about this, and we're going to try to clean this out. We're going to bring her slowly into our world. Now, you're also not going to lie. In the next lesson, I'm going to talk about the cardinal rules where you don't lie. So if she says, are you having sex with other women? You don't say, no. That's what a lot of men do. No. We do not lie. The alpha male 2.0 does not lie. Lying to get laid or to continue to have sex with a woman is something beta males do. That's something pussies do. You're not going to lie, but you don't have to answer the question. You can say, oh yeah. So again, sarcasm or direct, I don't want to talk about this right now. Are you having sex with other women? Oh yeah, I'm having sex with like 14 of them, baby. 2 a day. Plus I have 1 spare for Saturday, so it's really 50. But it's okay, sweetie. You're Tuesday. You're number 4. You can make a joke, and then you start laughing and change the subject. If that's congruent with your person. If it's not, you can say, whoa. Could we not talk about this? It's a little soon for this. I don't want to talk about this. Or whatever. However you want to do this. There's several ways you can do this. I don't have time to go through all of them. But the point is, you do not answer these direct questions. Well, what if she pushes? If she's under the age of 33, she is unlikely to push in the first 3 to 5 months. Why? In the modern era, in the collapsing Western world in which we live, women are trained to be tough and independent. So she's not going to push this too soon because she'll feel like a stage 5 clinger or something. She'll feel like you feel like she's needy, and women want to be cool about this. So women are very cool about this, the vast majority, for a long, long time. Now, if they're over 33, it's a little more difficult, but it's still manageable, okay? During the implicit phase, you are allowed to do things like leave clues that you're seeing other women. So if she comes out to your house, maybe you have an earring that is not hers on your kitchen counter that she sees. That's okay. You're allowed to show evidence of this. You are implicitly stating, yes, you're not the only girl, but I'm not going to talk about it. And that's the frame for the implicit phase. You're not the only girl I'm having sex with, or the only woman, whatever word you like the best, but I'm not going to talk about this yet. You will soon. Okay? Now, when a woman sees a necklace or an earring or lipstick on one of your dirty glasses in your sink, all kinds of clues. Again, women are not stupid. They're highly intuitive. They know what that means. And well, won't she get mad? The vast majority of Western women today do not get mad. They won't. Later, they will if you screw this up. And they will if you screw it up. If your EFA phase was off, if you were acting like Mr. Boyfriend, then she will get mad. But if you properly did the EFA phase, she will not get mad, with rare exceptions. There's always exceptions whenever we talk about human beings. Okay? Now, what you're not going to show is proof. So evidence is an earring that is not hers in the corner on your kitchen counter. That's evidence. Proof would be she goes into your bathroom and right there in the trash is a used condom. That's proof that you're having sex with someone else. That will not work. That will make her upset. Because again, she's a strong, independent woman and she deserves respect and all that usual stuff. Right? Right. So evidence, okay. Proof, not okay. Make sense? Other pretty girls on your Instagram page or your social media, there's various ways you can create proof. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this. You don't have to show proof if you don't want to. I generally don't anymore. I used to when I was a beginner, intermediate, this stuff. Now I'm advanced. I don't really need to because it's so obvious, just again from my EFA. But you can do this if you want. It shows to her non-verbally. You're conveying to her non-verbally, yes, I am having sex with someone else, but I don't want to talk about it. That's it. And you maintain that for as long as you can. On average, if you're doing this correctly, it's going to be between 3 and 5 months. If you start getting really good at this, it's going to be beyond 5 months, 6, 7, 8 months, depending on the woman, right? Then finally, at some point, like I said, this is not going to work forever. Eventually, as she starts to like you more, she's going to stamp her little foot and she'll say, I'm not taking any of this bullshit. I'm not doing this change the subject thing like you do. And it's been 4 months and I want to know. I want to know what's going on here. I want to know if we have a future. Blah, blah, blah. Great. At that point, you move into phase 3, which we will cover in the 4th lesson in this course. But before we cover that, we have to cover something very important in the next lesson, and that is called the cardinal rules, how you behave during the relationship. We will cover that in the next lesson.